I need a single brilliant market insight that will impress a prospective seller. Thesis. Part 2. The subject property is describe it. How many beds, how many baths, how much square footage, yada, yada, yada. Next part, and you get all my slides. Don't forget, you get all the slides. The insight should be data-driven, nuanced, and specifically relevant to this property's unique characteristics and current market conditions. Importantly, the insight must be drawn exclusively from the provided MLS data without fabricating or making up any statistics. It should reveal an unexpected value or trend that directly impacts the home's sale price or market positioning, making the seller think, wow, this agent really understands how to maximize my property's value. It's a long prompt, isn't it? Do you think I wrote it?
$20 one or the?
Who do you think helped me write the prompt? I used ChatGPT to fashion the right prompt, and then I loaded the data, and then kabam! And then I got a brilliant market insight, and I mean like brilliant. For example, I loaded up where I live. I live in an area of Brentwood, Tennessee, outside of Nashville. And I loaded up the data, and I said, I'm going on a listing appointment for a 1972 ranch, 3,000 square feet, needs some improvements, yada, yada, yada. And then it was able to figure out about what price it was probably worth, and analyzed it, and it said, well, hey, it looks like this property is probably in the $1 million price range. And what you should understand, what the seller should understand, is that homes earmarked around $1 million in this area tend to get purchased by developers who demolish the house and build a super mega house for $5 or $6 million. And so you should tell your seller if they're considering making improvements, they might think otherwise, because the improvements they might make could have a diminishing return, given that the highest and best use for this land is ultimately to knock the house down and build a bigger one. It told me that. Now, would I want to share that with a seller delicately? Yes. But how important is it to sound smart? It's pretty darn important, right? Number 2, I'm going to pick up the pace. Listing agent lie detector. Listing agent lie detector. You go to a listing, you go through the comps, you tell the seller what the market value of their home is approximately based upon current conditions, and they say, but Joe said he could list it here and get it sold. In your head, you're thinking, Joe is lying through his teeth. Anybody been there? You been there? Let's solve it. So you got ChatGPT, you can load your data in, and it can now produce a report for you. And you can download the spreadsheet. I can say to ChatGPT, I want this font, I want the header row bold, I want it to have this shade in the cells. You can tell it what you want it to look like. And it will give you the exact spreadsheet you're asking for. Here's the prompt. Are you ready? Get your phones out. Here's the prompt. Is this useful, by the way? All right, here's the prompt. This one's savage. Using the uploaded MLS data, construct a table that accurately compares the performance of listing agents, not buyer agents, year to date. The table should include the following columns. A, listing agent name, anonymized to protect identity. I don't want to violate any code of ethics or anything like that. B, listings taken. C, listings sold. D, listings unsold, including active, canceled, and expired listings. E, median list to sale price ratio for sold listings. So they say they'll sell it here, they sell it here. I want to know what that ratio is. Where'd I go? F, median days on market. G, price reduction data. How many, how much, etc. And my favorite, H, statistical probability the agent will cut the price on their next listing. Ouch. Use judgment to determine which column corresponds to each required data point of the data set, yada, 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 yada. Don't make anything up. And then you go enter. And what you get is this report. And so here's what happens. One of my Rockstar coaching clients, Sandra Pike, she's been going on listing appointments. And she's getting but Joe said he could sell it at this price. And she's been losing listings. So she comes to a coaching session telling me about this. And I was like, I have an evil, sinister plan. And so we go to the MLS, we get the data, we run the report, we anonymize all the names. And so when the seller says, but Joe said he could sell it for this. And she says, that's really interesting. And she grabs this report out of her bag and lays it on the table and says, you might want to look at this. Well, what am I looking at? And they look at the report together. And this is the line that she says. As you can see, the report shows that overpriced listings, they sit for longer, they undergo price reductions, and they ultimately sell for less. Now, who you hire to sell your house is entirely your decision. If you're open, though, I have one recommendation. In the event the agent you hire recommends this price point, I would encourage you to write in the special stipulations of that contract that in the event they request even one price adjustment, it immediately cancels their agreement with you. And then she starts packing up her things like she's gonna leave, and she waits for the seller. She's like, a takeaway, but don't go. We want you, please stay right here, please. She's winning listing after listing after listing. You can use this, yeah. Clap it up for Sandra. It's all in the execution. She crushed it. All right, let's keep going. I want to turn you to an AI listing machine. Heads up, next week I am starting a program. It's called AI Marketing Academy. If you scan the code, you can get yourself enrolled into it. It's 8 sessions with me over 4 weeks. The sessions have limited attendance. They're done over Zoom, so I can see you and you can see me. And so it's first come, first serve. But if you're interested in being a part of AI Marketing Academy, it kicks off next week. Scan the code, first come, first serve. It's 8 sessions going super deep to turn you into an absolute AI listing machine, going through all the learnings and all the execution of leveraging AI. First come, first serve. All right. How many of you were blown away by Tom AI yesterday? Blown away, right? Blown away. A couple of notes I want to make about Tom AI related to what he shared with reviews yesterday. I call this third point client gossip. Client gossip. So Tom shared with you yesterday how Tom AI can analyze the sentiment of your customers and your clients based upon the reviews they leave for you on Google and on Zillow. Now, last year we talked about this, but we had a limitation. We could copy and paste all the review data into ChatGPT, but it was a mess because you got a whole bunch of other text. And so what Jackie and the team, and Carlos and the team with Tom AI have done is they've allowed it where all you do is plug in, here's my Google business profile, here's my Zillow profile, boom. All the reviews come in automatically, cleaned and pruned and perfect for analysis. Can we clap it up for them for pulling that off? Tom AI. Woo. Now, I told you before about your favorite $10 word, probabilistic reasoning. We said before that what AI is remarkably good at, from an analysis standpoint, is figuring out trends and patterns and insights that are nuanced beyond what you can just see. So imagine the power of having it look across the body of all your reviews and determining what your customers really feel about you and how that could then inform your marketing, your videos, your client parties. Maybe it reveals some elements that need to be worked on in yourself. Oh, I don't like that my clients feel that way. I didn't know they felt like this. What's so powerful about having AI analyze your reviews is it gives you such a deep insight about the collective feeling they have about you and how can you harness that more effectively when you build your brand. So make sure that you scan that code. I'll show it again in a little bit here to get yourself on the list for Tom AI for analyzing reviews. All right, we have time for one more. Yeah, one more? Role Play Royale. Who's already been in the back of the room doing the role play with Tom AI? Okay, I don't see enough hands. Look at the leaderboard. It's remarkable. Who's ever used ChatGPT for role play? Let me see your hands. Who's like, I'm so lost, I don't know. Don't raise your hand. Let me explain. With ChatGPT, it has a feature in it called voice mode. Whether you're on your computer or on your phone, if you tap that little headphone icon, it will enable voice mode. And what voice mode is effectively a phone call with ChatGPT. You talk, it listens, it talks, you listen, you talk, and back and forth. It can work completely hands-free, just like a phone call. It also gives you the ability to upload knowledge, so you can attach files. For example, I attached the 108-page document that is the NAR settlement. And so I can load the entire settlement into ChatGPT. I can feed it some articles I wanted to see that can inform its perspective, and then I can say to it, I want to role play with you Imagine you're a buyer at a showing, and I'm the agent, and I want to talk about the lawsuit, and you're pushing back. And I can declare a scenario, and it will slip into role play with me to practice with it versus practicing in the real thing when you're at that showing. Could that be useful? Who's seen what they're talking about? So ChatGPT Advanced Voice Mode isn't out yet, but it's coming soon. Advanced Voice Mode is a full video call with ChatGPT. It can see you. You could say, for instance, hey, ChatGPT, I can't find my glasses. Have you seen them anywhere? And it could say, well, they were over your left shoulder on the shelf behind you last time we talked. Okay. And you go grab your glasses. It has an eidetic memory. It sees everything. But there's more. Not only does it see, but it understands body language. It can see you smiling. It can see you frowning. So when you're role playing, it can give you cues. Hey, you look really sad and angry when you're talking to this person. You should smile a little bit. It can hear the inflection in your voice. It can mirror your language back to you. If you sound like you're whining, it can whine. If you sound like you're, enthusiastically on drugs, so can it. It has that adaptability. That's coming soon. Now, here's what's super exciting to me. Tom AI, and there's your QR code if you want to get on the list, is built on top of ChatGPT. The base of it is ChatGPT, so its features become Tom AI's features and then some, but like Tom shared with you yesterday, Tom AI has additional training on it, whereby it has all the information coming down from our coaching sessions and so forth, so that you can leverage it to the fullest. Do we have time to do maybe a super quick demo? You want to see it? I'll go, hey, Steve and Kim, where are you at? Run up here really fast. We're low on time, so run on up. Can we clap it up for Steve and Kim? We're going to do like a 60-second demo on this. Run, run, run. All right, Steve and Kim. Can we switch to my computer back here, fellas?
Everybody get out your phone.
All right, hopefully this works. I'm taking a giant risk. This is live. Hopefully this works. Does everyone see my screen? You do. Okay. Steven, where's your microphone? You got it?
I do.
Hi.
Hello.
Do you want to talk to a buyer, a seller?
It's your home seller.
All right, we're going to talk to a home seller. We click it. What kind of an attitude do you want? How about we make them skeptical?
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to be the listing agent.
Let's do it.
And what do you want to talk to them about? How about motivation?
Price adjustments.
You want to do some price adjustments? Oh boy. All right. Okay. Easy, medium, or hard?
What do you think?
Hard. All right, let's begin. And we're not gonna finish the role play. I just want to show you how it works, okay? Here it comes. Internet, all that stuff.
Hello, I'm Alex, the homeowner. So about this price adjustment you're suggesting, I'm not quite convinced it's necessary. The house has a lot of unique features that you don't see every day. Why exactly should we lower the price?
All right, Steve.
What do I do here? Okay.
So we're gonna press to
All right.
talk. You're gonna hold it down and talk.
Right.
And that way it doesn't talk over you, it listens. And while you're holding it down, you're going to handle this objection. You ready?
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
do it. Here we go. Hey, Alex. Hey, Alex. Remind me again your motivations for selling.
Well, I'm looking to downsize since the kids have moved out, but I'm not in a rush. I want to make sure we get a good price for the house considering all the work we've put into it over the years.
All right, one more.
Hey, Alex. I respect that. But as you know, in the past few weeks, we've seen a number of homes in your market come to the market listed below where we're at, and unfortunately, some have even sold below where we're listed at. What I suggest is a slight price improvement to reinvigorate your home so that we can attract more buyers to come and hopefully get a great offer. It's really about aligning your goals with current market conditions. What do you think?
All right, I love it. Can we clap it up for Stephen Kim? It's going to respond, and we can do this all day long. Dude, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So who's going to go back to the booth and do Tom AI? There's a leaderboard back there, and I think you could take the list. I really do. You could take the list. Isn't that nuts? Just insane, isn't it? Clap it up for Stephen Kim. He's getting his video. It's awesome. Hey, tell me, what's giving you a competitive edge? What's giving you a competitive edge? How are you cutting through the noise? How are you standing out? And could it be that generative AI is the edge you've been looking for when harnessed in the right way, using it for the right applications? Market factoids before your listing appointments, listing agent lie detectors before appointments. You could do buyer agent lie detectors too. It could happen, right? Using it for role play, using it for client gossip to help you be smarter, faster, better, so that you can become more listing dominant. Thank you, folks. I'll see you later this morning. Thanks, guys.
Nice work. Nice work.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Pantana in the house. All right. So, in your notes, anywhere where you're taking notes, write this down. Write down, I should raise my sales price. How many of you know that to be a true statement? Say yes. How many of you really want to elevate your price point and do the same number of transactions? Say aye. So not all of you. That's really interesting for me. Let me restate that question. Who would like to make even more money doing the same work? Say aye. Exactly. So check this out. I asked a client of mine, I'm like, hey, would you, we've been working together the last 18 months. We've known each other for, 10 years. So I was like an unofficial coach. He would just call me and say, can I run something past you? And I'm like, of course. His name is Aaron Kerman. He had a television show on CNBC for a long time. Aaron is now 27 years in real estate. And though he looks like he's 30, what is awesome is he's done $19.5 billion in sales, Andy, in the last 27 years. And if you look at the data, the first 10 years to me didn't count. Now it is so normal for he and I to have conversations like this. Okay, so how did we do last month? Okay, 200 million, cool, let's get to the other stuff. Do you guys hear those numbers? Hey, you did 200 million last month? Okay, cool. Now let's get to the other stuff, the other things you're doing. Today, he owns Christie's for all of Southern California, and we're gonna have an interesting conversation about how do you climb the ladder to ultimately get to the price point that you want. So let's invite out my friend, my client, Aaron Kerman, to the stage. Aaron, come on out, buddy. And he looks like he's 30.
He needs glasses. His glasses are not working.
So,
Let's
let's walk out here a little bit. Maybe like right around here. So Aaron, the thing that I hear the most from, as I travel the country, travel the world, doesn't matter where I am. I'm in Sydney, Australia. Told him, you don't understand, I can't do it because, I wasn't born in the rocks, and, if you're not born in the rocks, you can't sell in the rocks. Tom, I'm from the other side of the valley. I'm not from Beverly Hills. And if you're not from Beverly Hills, then you can't sell in Beverly Hills. Could you give him a little insight in your background?
First of all, do you guys love his accent interpretation? That was really impressive. I could not be able to do that. I always tell people, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm born to, my dad was a trucker, my mom was a school teacher. I had severe learning disabilities. I couldn't read, I couldn't write for a lot of literally my adult life. And here we are. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity that real estate has given us every single day. And I knew when I was 16 years old, I couldn't keep a job. I got fired from everything. And it was like, what industry could I not have a boss in? And that was my obsession. It was the only thing I thought about. What industry is somebody not going to control me?
Yeah.
And by the way, this was like 27 years ago.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the glamorous business, fake glamorous business that it looks like today. And I landed on this business.
Yeah. So when you got into real estate, I imagine, did you start right in Beverly Hills or like on the west side of LA?
No.
Where did you start?
I started in the Valley, which is like the suburbs.
Yeah.
I started selling $100,000, $150,000 houses.
Yes.
And I started like everyone, and everyone always asks me like, how did you break into luxury? And I'm like, there is no break into luxury. It doesn't happen. I had to inch my way to get there.
Yes. So, do you guys want some really good tactical advice? Because one of the questions I asked, I said, talk to me about the tactics. Like, if you look back over your career, there were things that you did to climb the ladder to ultimately achieve. Now getting the. Okay. Before I went on a trip. we're on a coaching call, and I'm like, all right, so tell me about this week. I have $600 million listing appointments. I'm pretty certain I'm going to get this one. I'm not. I was like, even I was like, did you just say you have $600 million? And he said it like Stephanie said, you know, lactating on a listing appointment. Like, it was so casual. What are the steps and the tactics somebody needs to take? And I'm going to let you loose.
Perfect.
Talk to them.
I'd say the first thing that I did was just learn the business, which was pretty easy, but from there you have to be really tactical. For me, I wasn't necessarily the guy that wanted to door knock and cold call because it felt really daunting. Not that I wasn't good at it, not that I didn't know how to do it, but I kind of worked backwards and I said to myself, what's the easiest way? And I call it soldiers. How can I get a lot of soldiers working for me to do the work for me so that I don't have to do the lift, which kind of sounds lazy when I hear myself talking about it, but that was my approach. And so instead of, the door knocking, what I did was I figured out who has a lot of clients and how I can get them. So I focused my energy on family offices, business offices, stockbrokers, designers, anybody that had a Rolodex that was large. And I took those people to lunch, I took those people to dinner, and I grew relationships. Because when you have those soldiers working for you, they're going to do your lead generation for you. And your job is so much easier. So that was my first start, working with professionals that really had great databases. From there, you have to inch your way up. And I always tell people, and this isn't something that real estate agents like to hear, if you've never sold a $10 million house, you're probably not going to get hired by that seller to sell a $10 million house because that is a big transaction. So how do you get into that world? And I would say the way that I did it was I found a mentor. And I attached myself to that mentor. And I literally worked for free when I was 16, 17, and 18. I grew up from a very modest family, but because my mentor was selling some very expensive homes at the time, I started to live and breathe that world. I started to understand what luxury meant. I started to learn where the people that own luxury actually hang out. And I realized that I needed to look the look, not necessarily in looks or dress, obviously I wear a t-shirt, but in understanding their movements, where they are, how they live, and how they work. So I have a lot of agents that have very similar backgrounds to me, that grew up in modest families that are now selling $20 million, $30 million, $70 million houses. This is a real thing. And everyone just had to start somewhere. So get that mentor that's going to teach you, and know that once you sell, and everybody's definition of luxury is different in this room, but if luxury is a $2 million home in your neighborhood, do whatever you can to get that $2 million house. Just do whatever you can. Even if you, God forbid, have to take a reduced commission. We don't love doing that. We don't recommend it. But if that's going to get you in and that's going to break you in, once you have that $2 million house, you'll get to 4 and you'll get to 6. No joke. I have 25-year-olds in my brokerage, not from wealth. And one day they came to my office and they said, "We have a listing appointment for you." I said, "Oh, really? What is it?" This is a real story. $200 million house. $200 million house. They didn't come from the world. They didn't know the owner. They did none of that. All they did was they picked up the phone. They called the representative. They pitched our brand, our company, Christie's, me. I had a meeting with the people that manage the business, and now we are hired. And so I always say, in today's world, you guys can get anything you want because of social media, because of social media strategy, because of the visibility that we all have. You could touch so many souls and get an unlimited amount of business. And that's the beauty of this business, no matter what is happening.
Okay, that's worthy of a round of applause. Now, here's what's fun. I see like Christoph Chu, Peter over here, Again, it's a climb, right? It's selling the $100,000 house, and the 150, and the 500, and then how do you get over the sort of like, am I worthy? Am I enough? I don't want to call it mindset, but is everybody with me on this? Okay, raise your hands If you can remember a time you went on a really expensive appointment and you were honestly slightly uncomfortable, raise your hands really high. Oh, look, everyone,
Including me.
How do you get over that? I don't buy into the fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Right? How do you get over it?
It's the opposite of fake it till you make it. Listen, like a lot of people in this room, I had to fight to get to where I am today. And we all have those inner demons. I'm not good enough. My competition is better. My competition has sold more. There's better strategies, better services. The way to get beyond that is to actually do the work. So it wasn't until I could literally, I literally believe I'm the best real estate agent in the world. I actually do believe that.
Yes.
But it wasn't always like that. It took me 27 years to get there. So when I go into a room, I don't need to convince people that I'm the best because I know that I'm really, really good and better than everyone else. And how I did that was I actually did all the things that I bet you're teaching in this conference to get there. I built a database that was really strong. I built a social media presence that was necessary. I worked on SEO. I worked on PPC. I made a ton of mistakes. I mean, literally from failure is growth, right?
Yes.
You could look at my sales and I go, wow, okay, that's fine. But I also could look at the things that I did not sell, and I should be at 45 billion, not 20. I literally feel like I lost $20 billion worth of sales in my career. But from every one of those losses was a gain. There was a lesson. There was something I did wrong. I didn't call that person back quick enough. I misspoke. I was off that day, whatever it is. And part of being successful, I think, in this business is, and this is the most important, self-love. Every day, love yourself more than anything else.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
that self-love is going to carry a confidence level, and that confidence level is going to get you as many listings and as much luxury as you actually need. And never be hard on yourself if something doesn't work out, because in life, sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's okay.
Yes. Okay, last question. And then he's going to go tour some property and buy some houses and then head to Spain, and then I'll see you in Europe.
Yes, please.
You used me as your free coach for 9 years.
By the way, 9 years I didn't pay him. This is a true story, by the way.
I know.
I was too cheap to pay him.
Staff, does this sound familiar?
But by the way, I was surprised he picked up my phone for 9 years, because not once did I ever write him a check. I always promised him I was going to, and then I never did.
I know. So why did you finally start?
You know, first of all, Tom deserves a round of applause for who he is. He is by far the best person ever.
Thank you.
The reason I finally decided to write the check to Tom is I don't care where you are in your business and what you're doing. We all need a coach. And sometimes you need a coach for tactical information, like how can I do what I need to do? And sometimes you just need to bitch to a coach and say, oh my God, this job is so hard, I need help. But that is why we need a coach, and I'm a huge proponent of it, and I think everybody needs it to get to where we want to get to, and nobody is above that moment.
I agree. He's got a race. I'm super glad you came. All right, I love you, buddy. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Aaron Kerman, give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.